sorry, that mask gets a bit dusty. So, as today is Halloween, I thought I would do something fun and spooky and Halloween themed for you guys to enjoy and get madly disturbed at. It's kind of ironic that my AOA day falls on Halloween because I don't celebrate Halloween. But I thought it'd be just right to do something spooky and trippy and weird that's Halloween themed, and I hope you find it fun and I hope you find it traumatizing. Probably shouldn't have said that, but don't. So the internet is a really dark and mysterious place sometimes if you go in a little deep enough. Not like deep, I mean, that's when it gets really disturbing. But like kind of, you know when you're scrolling down in Tumblr for so long and then you just find just the strange, weird, what is my life content? That's what I'm talking about. So what I thought I'd do today is find you some of the most trippy, weird and mysterious stories about Halloween that I found on the internet, and I'm gonna share them with you guys because I'm so nice and I do loads of good stuff for you guys. Also, I hope you've noticed my super cool neon makeup. It's a new trend. I look so Tumblr. Oh my gosh, it is unreal. It's Halloween, I can't just do it in my normal fashion. Woo, how spooky, how spooky, how spooky. You know you used to do this as a kid. Don't lie to me. So the first story I'm going to read is called Humans Can Lick Too. Same. My great-grandmother lived alone in the mountains at her cabin. She had one companion and that was her loving dog. They both loved each other very much and the dog loved her and comforted her. Every night when she went to bed, the dog would lick her hand so it would know to let her know that he was there to protect her. One night she had gone to bed and the dog licked her hand like he had done routinely every night since her husband died. But this night was different. She had woken up in the middle of the night because she heard her dog whimpering. She wanted to comfort him and let her know she was always there for him. Oh, that's sweet. That's like me and my dog. I'm probably not going to say that by the end of this, but you know. So she stuck out her hand by the bed and felt the dog gently lick her hand like always. She figured he was just cold, so she went back to sleep. The dog's whimpering had woken her up a second time in the middle of the night, so she stuck her hand out. The dog licked it and she went back to sleep. This happened the third time and she stuck her hand out and the dog stopped whimpering and came and licked her hand. She stayed awake for a few moments afterwards and the dog had stopped whimpering. She went back to sleep again. This is dragging out. In the morning she woke up and stuck her hand out by the bed, but nothing licked her hand. She thought that the dog had already awakened. The dog had already awakened and was just in the front room. She rolled over and got out of bed and heard a drip, 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 drip. So she walked into the kitchen and turned the handles on the sink faucet, but it wasn't dripping. Okay, this is starting to get creepy, okay. She continued into the bathroom and took a shower. As she walked in, the drips got louder. She turned and looked up at the bathtub and screamed! There, hanging from the light by his tail, was her loving companion. With his blood dripping into the bathtub, she screamed and began to cry. Wiping her eyes and sobbing, she turned around and looked at the mirror. In the mirror, she saw the dog hanging, and written on the mirror was a finger in her dog's blood, with drips and streaks hanging down from each. Scroll down the page. From each letter, the words were, "Humans can lick too." Oh my god! That wasn't too bad. I'm sure there are worse, but that was still like, oh my god, stop. The next story is called The Graveyard Vaga? I have no clue. Let's just go with it, shall we? A group of young girls were having a slumber party one night and began to exchange ghost stories. One girl claimed that the old man who had been buried early that week in the graveyard down the street had been buried alive. She claimed that if you tried, you could still hear him scratching at the lid of his coffin. The other girls called her bluff and told her that she wouldn't do it. They said she was too afraid to go down there to the grave that very night. They continued to challenge her and eventually she gave in to the peer pressure and accepted the challenge. The story of my life. Since she was going alone, she needed to prove to the others that she actually followed through with the task. She was supposed to take a stake with her and drive it into the ground so the next day the girls would know that she had been to the grave. She headed off to the gravesite, stake in hand, and never returned. The other girls assumed she had chickened out and just gone home instead. I know where this is going. The next morning as they passed the graveyard, they saw her there at the old man's grave. She had accidentally staked her nightshirt to the ground And when she tried to run from the grave, she couldn't. She died of fright right on the grave. What? Is that it? Is that it? So basically, it's just, she's died of fright. That isn't the best story I've ever, you know, but hey. I'm kind of freaked out because the next one is called China Doll. All the worst stories about dolls. Okay, China Doll. A beautiful 8-year-old girl called Izzy got this adorable China doll for her birthday. She called her Sam. One day, Izzy was playing with her doll until her mum called her for bed. Izzy put the doll in the basement and went up to bed. In the middle of the night, she heard weird noises. Then she heard, China doll in the basement, China doll on the stairs, China doll in your parents' room, now they're dead. Izzy fell back into a troubled sleep. In the morning, she raced to her parents' room and they were dead. It's just put like that, it's just like, and she raced to her parents' room and they were dead. No big deal, obviously. She cried as her brother planned her funeral. Bit soon. Izzy did not play with Sam that day. She went up to bed early and fell asleep. In the middle of the night, she heard chanting again. China doll in the basement, China doll on the stairs, China doll in your parents' room, China doll in your brother's room, now he's dead. I know where this is going. Izzy shivered and fell into another troubled sleep. In the morning, she went to her brother's room. He was dead. She spent the day in her room and wouldn't come out. Night fell again and she went to sleep. I have an issue with this, right? If your parents were found dead in your room and then your brother, you wouldn't just like, oh no, damn, let's just plan their funeral. No, you would call the police and get them to investigate a crime scene. What am I doing with this torch? Oh my gosh. She heard the chanting again. China doll in the basement, China doll on the stairs, China doll in your parents' room, China doll in your brother's room, China doll in your room. She gazed up to see the doll. Now you're dead. The police found her the next day. Oh, thank God, the police. Ugh. With no sign of the murderer. All they heard was chuckling in the distance. The chuckle of a brown-haired, brown-eyed China doll on the hunt for her next victims. Moral of the story, kids, don't buy China dolls. So that was sufficiently creepy. I'm just, flicking through the internet and trying to find some scary stories, I did come across a website that was full of, really good ones, but the titles was really strange and I got kind of put off them. I felt like it would be kind of inappropriate to tell you about the, spooky strip girl. So I'm not gonna do that one. This one's called Pretending to be Asleep Doesn't Work. And my hat is wonky. A young boy is sleeping in his bed on a usual night. He hears footsteps outside his door and peeks out of his eyes to see what's happening. His door swings open quietly to reveal a murderer carrying the corpses of his parents. That's nice. After silently propping them up on the chair, he writes something on the wall in blood of the dead bodies. Then he hides under the child's bed. The child is scared beyond belief. He can't read the writing on the wall, and he knows the man is under his bed. Like any child, he pretends that he slept through the whole thing and hasn't awoken yet. He lays still as the bodies, quietly hearing the breaths from under his bed. An hour passes, and his eyes are adjusting more and more to the darkness. He tries to make out the words, but it's a struggle. He gasps when he finally makes out the sentence. I know you're awake. He feels something shift underneath his bed. That was alright, not too bad, but I think they were sufficiently scary stories. I mean, there were one or two that were just but I think the doll one and the one with the blood writing on the wall, they're pretty creepy. I'm not one to be completely creeped out by horror stories. I can usually handle them, but I know some people just cannot stand them at all, and they're probably already dead on the floor and traumatized, so I'm sorry if that's you. Please give this video a like and subscribe to AOA for more everyday videos from everyone in our group. They're also lovely and cool and great, and happy Halloween! Yeah, it's Halloween, I've already mentioned that about 6 times. And I will hopefully see you next week for another video, whatever the theme is. And yes, I'm doing this too much with the torch. Oh gosh, that is creepy. Oh gosh. Goodbye. Goodbye. Goodbye.